Fancy friends, and welcome to a fursuit tutorial. So today we are going to be making a tongue for this lovely suit. This is Spooks. Spooks is going to be a dog pre-made, and I am going to be selling him. You want to give him a home? Well, soon enough he'll be up for sale. I'm probably going to redo his eyes before I sell him though, just the mesh. But yeah, he'll be up for sale soon as I'm done with him, and yeah, I'm super excited. But, yeah, so today we're going to be making his tongue. I'm going to start by explaining how you make a pattern for a tongue, and then what materials to use, etc., etc. Okay, let's get right into it. So, when you're making the tongue for your fursuit, you want to take a piece of paper, and you're going to want to stick it into the mouth of your fursuit. So you're going to want to do something like this. Stick the paper in, and you're going to want to take a pencil. Oh, there it goes. Take a pencil, and you want to trace around the underside of the mouth so that it makes like a curve. That is going to be the inside of the mouth, so you know how big you make your tongue. Then you're going to want to sketch out the shape of the size of the tongue that you want. Then you cut it out and place it in the mouth to make sure it looks good and that it fits. Once you're satisfied with your pattern, well, then we can move on to putting the pattern onto our fabric. The kind of fabric that I like to use for my fursuit tongues is fleece. I got this from Hobby Lobby, and it's super soft, and it's super good for fursuits. But yeah, you trace your tongue onto the fleece. I usually do a big seam allowance because I'm not very, I'm bad at machine sewing sometimes. But trace it, make sure to flip the pattern the opposite way in case it's not symmetrical. And then you want to sew it together. I'm going to show you how you do that. So let's go do that. So now we're going to sew our tongue together. So the way you sew your tongue together is you want to flip your pattern inside out so that the two front sides of the tongue are facing each other. This is basic sewing. It should be pretty easy. Then you want to take this and you want to sew it along the outside. So that's going to look something like this. So now that we have our little line sewed around, oh my gosh, it's such an awkward shape, but that's okay. Then we're going to flip it inside out. It's optional, but you can, like, trim the excess around. You don't have to. I'm not going to, but yeah. Okay, let's turn it inside out. Now that we have it flipped inside out, we're actually going to sew once again around this edge, if that makes sense. We're going to do that one more time, and that's going to look like this. Once you're done, it should look like this. Okay. Now, we only have a few more small steps. Next, if you want to do this is optional. I don't have any stuffing, so I'm not going to do this. But you can put a very thin layer of stuffing in there to make the tongue even more plush. But with fleece, I mean, it's kind of already soft and plushy, so I'm not going to be stuffing it. But okay, after you stuff it, optionally, now we're going to sew a line down the middle. So that's like the indent of the tongue. So it's going to look like this. Okay, now you have this. Wow, that is a fursuit tongue. Isn't that crazy, guys? Okay, so now this part is optional. You can either do an X right here, or you can sew across the top. Okay, now we have our tongue sewed securely, and we can go and we can get it all into the mouth. So let's go do that now. Here's the tongue inside of the mouth, but it's not yet glued in. So then we're going to glue the tongue in. Or sew it in. I mean, I can't sew it in because this mouth, yeah. But, yeah, there you go. There is a fursuit tongue tutorial. I hope this was helpful and that you guys could understand it. And I hope that your fursuit tongues turn out just as good. Honk!
Subscribe.